Welcome to the Idris Diaries. It's been a long time, but I'm back, and hopefully, I'll have at least one show a month going forward. To start off the relaunch of the Idris Diaries, I am so psyched to have with me the one and only MatrixLord 212.
Hey everybody, thank you very much, Darlene.
Thanks for joining me. And tonight we're going to do something a little special. We're going to talk about the big green guy, Godzilla.
Oh, my favorite. I love that.
I am like such a huge Godzilla fan. I love everything about him.
Me too.
As some of you have probably already heard, Godzilla is going to be coming back into the big silver screens on, I believe it's May
Yes,
9th. Is it May 9th, I think?
possibly, might be, yeah.
Yeah, something around there. Um, there's been a couple of previews out already. Um, I'm just gonna come right out and say I'm a little disappointed with the previews.
Wow.
When we first started hearing about Godzilla coming back, everybody was raving about how it was going back like old school. So it wasn't going to be anything like Godzilla from, what is it, Godzilla 2000, with Matthew Broderick or whatever.
Right.
It wasn't going to be anything like that. It was going to be the original looking style of Godzilla. And I immediately was like, had flashes of, Godzilla fighting Rodan and
Right.
Mothra and like
Right.
some alien coming down with Mecha Godzilla or Ghidra, the three-headed
Yeah.
monster there, and then aliens trying to take over the world, and Godzilla gets woken up from like hibernation and
Right.
fights the aliens, fights the monsters, and then goes back home, and everybody's like, "We love you,
Yeah.
Godzilla." Instead, the most recent preview that was out, was just some dude like crying about it being the end of the world and how they have to like kill Godzilla. We gotta kill him. We gotta
I
kill him.
I think they went for the disaster effect, like the horror, oh my God, if this was real, what would happen? People screaming, people running, everybody dying. Like, I guess it's a lot different from when a guy was in a suit and like punching another guy in another suit, and then they had the wires like with the, carrying Hedra around or Ghidorah or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, now, the Matthew Broderick movie, um, it would have been a good movie if it wasn't called Godzilla. Like that, to me, that wasn't Godzilla, but it was a good disaster movie, like a good monster movie. But that's not our Godzilla. And the last Godzilla movie that they made was Godzilla Final Wars. Okay, I don't know if you saw that. In that movie,
Is that the
Godzilla
one?
actually defeated the Matthew Broderick Godzilla Zilla in like a couple of seconds. He fought maybe over 10 monsters. He fought a new Gigan. He fought a lot. So I know that the owners of Godzilla, they wanted to get rid of it for a long time. They don't want to do any more. They wanted to kill it off. Finally, they sold the rights to America, and Legendary Pictures has it. And the plan is for them to make Godzilla movies every couple of years. The second movie was always supposed to be, from what I understand, of the new Godzilla movies. The second one was supposed to be many monsters, something towards the effect of destroy all monsters. But this one, there is going to be a villain. I think it's going to be a new villain. I think his name is Mudo. I think we did that on the Everything show. We were talking about it. He looks something like out of Cloverfield, something out of, they wanted a different villain, and they wanted to make new villains for Godzilla before they started bringing back Mothra and Rodan and, Hedra, Gigan, Megalon, all, the Mecha Godzilla.
Godzuki.
Um, yeah, so that will come in time, but they just wanted to set the stage. Now, the only problem I have is that, after seeing the trailer, I like the trailer a lot. But you get the impression that, everybody's going to die, all this stuff that, and then how could you now, with a sequel, have Godzilla as the good guy, like going against the aliens and everything? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be kind of weird To do that, if you're gonna paint the picture that Godzilla's like killing everybody, and now he's like a good guy in the later movies, or if they're just gonna have him, I don't know how they're gonna work. Maybe they'll just have him fight the other monsters, but then they'll make the other monsters like good. I don't know, but we will see many different monsters in the coming sequels. They're not going to announce the next Godzilla until after this one's out a couple of weeks, but it's already in the planning stages.
Yeah.
It's been in the planning stages since they bought the property. It was always the plan for them, now that we own it, to make many Godzilla movies. And it won't be no few and far between, there'll be many. So,
Yeah. I guess my thing is I grew up with Godzilla, watching him on, Saturday afternoon when they used to have,
right.
I think it was like from 1 to 4, they used to have like the monster like marathon. And
Thanksgiving, they always had Godzilla movies. They had Godzilla vs. King Kong. They
yeah.
had Godzilla. They show Godzilla vs. Smog Monster a lot, which is adore. Which I didn't really. That wasn't my. I wasn't a fan of that one, but they constantly showed that one. But I was always a fan of Mecha Godzilla. That was always,
Yeah, Mega Godzilla was.
and for some reason they showed that very rarely. There was like, I think, three Mecha Godzilla movies, and one of them they hardly showed on TV. But years later now we acquire them from DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, and I got just about every single Godzilla, with the exception I think one or two I still got to get. But I got the kids into it. They love Godzilla. I mean, Anthony's a big fan of Godzilla, and we're gonna go see it when it comes out, and we're gonna get all the figures, and they're coming out with all the figures again, so it's really really cool. And I got them just about tons of figures that they just brought home. So we're big fans of Godzilla.
Yeah, and I'm like, my favorite one has always been Destroy All Monsters. I mean, that was my
Right,
that was my favorite one, and
right,
I just love the storyline that they always had with Godzilla and Rodan, where here like the monsters show up to like destroy the bad guys, and then here Godzilla and Rodan start fighting again, and then Mothra
right,
has to like break them up and stuff. It was just
right.
and then everybody's like, "We love you, Godzilla," and
Yeah,
I was under the impression that they were going right into it. I can understand them kind of
right,
relaunching, because there are people out there that may have heard of Godzilla, but they've never seen it. You know what I mean?
right.
So this might be a
I
good
don't think they were
starting
allowed
point.
to. I don't think they were allowed to, because I think the deal was, they bought the rights,
Hmm.
but they had to do their own thing. They couldn't connect it to previous movies, and they would have had to connect it directly to Final Wars, which, if you didn't see that was like aliens, of course, and they were like sort of like, you try to kind of make fun of Matrix a little bit. Like the guy was like this, and the bullets would stop, and it was kind of weird.
Yeah,
But
was that the one where they were from the future, and they came back and they were
they're
trying to like,
always from the future or
or,
something. I don't know. It was just
and then
they
Godzilla
just kept
and
they
then
kept
Godzilla
sending
was doing a
monsters for Godzilla
meltdown.
to fight.
That was
They
the one.
no no they just kept sending Godzilla monsters to fight, and he beat them all. And it was like, they got destroyed eventually. But
Because the last one I saw, Godzilla was
he
having
was burning
a
up. Godzilla
meltdown.
versus
Yeah,
Destroyer.
yeah,
Yeah, and then
and then
his
they ended up
son, the
they killed
radiation went to his
Godzuki.
son,
Yeah, and
and
then
then he
they
became Godzilla, and then he took over in Godzilla 2000. It was called. He fought Orca, which Orca was absorbing him, and then he won him. And then after 2000, I think they did. I think it was Godzilla Final Wars. I think that was the
okay,
last one. Yeah.
okay. I mean, I am looking forward to it. I mean, I'm gonna go see it. I was actually thinking if they're gonna have this in IMAX. I've never been to an IMAX movie before, so if
Right.
they have this in IMAX, I was thinking that would be an awesome first IMAX movie.
Wow. Yeah.
you know.
We went to the new Regal theater that they had with the enhanced sound and stuff. That was really awesome. We saw RoboCop in, and that was really nice. Like the new screens. How like the screen kind of withers away. This is brand new screens, brand new sound.
Oh,
It
neat.
was really nice. I'm gonna try to go to those theaters from now on. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. IMAX. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. You know. Um, but every week there's gonna be a few movies to see.
Yeah.
I mean, so Godzilla would definitely be there when it comes out. We'll see it.
Yeah, I mean, if I had my way, I would go opening night.
Yeah, I can't because I work. So it's
Uh,
like by the time I get home, that's back in the day. Absolutely, I would have been waiting online for that. But you know, I get home from work and travel in 3 hours, so it's like, yeah, that would be a weekend thing.
yeah, most likely because most of the people that I go to the movies with, they prefer like Sunday, so that's probably,
Yeah,
you know. But
Sundays. Yeah,
I am looking forward to it, and I'm wondering what kind of um, merchandising they're gonna have.
they already have a lot. They have. I just went to Hypnotronic Comics, and they had the roar, where they also have the thing shooting things out of his mouth, like the it's like a blue thing instead of a red. You know, like a back in the day we had the Godzilla little toy
Yeah.
where he shot discs out of the mouth. Now they have the new Godzilla with the blue. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that was pretty cool to see. And then they got the little miniature ones now, like the miniature Godzilla ones. So
I know. A long, 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 long time ago. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I used to have like a little remote control one. It was like the little
yeah,
rollers underneath it.
we bought when I worked in a toy store, every time the Godzilla toys came in, I always bought them all. So it's like I was wasting my own paycheck. But the kids, I got the kids so many, and I had to go get them online and buy them in certain specialty places because not, you know, it was very hard to find Godzilla toys just like Doctor Who toys. So you had to specially order some of that stuff. And it was very, very expensive. But we got a lot of cool, I gotta say, we have a good amount of Godzilla toys that they used to play with. So and we even had the big stuff too. I mean, they had the different scale, you know, size ones. So I even have like well, I have the Matthew Broderick Godzilla bank
Oh,
that he would
okay.
move side to side, and they would have the classic roar still. But yeah,
Yeah,
can't wait.
and that was a good thing because I really didn't like with the Matthew Broderick one. I did not like you know, the roar or the
I
sound. I didn't like anything about it.
Again, it was a good movie, but it wasn't a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
That if they would have said like Monster Attacks New York or something, okay, that would have been. They shouldn't have called it Godzilla. I felt they should have just called it something else.
yeah, like a giant lizard attacks New
I,
York.
Whatever. They should have called it something. I mean, it's that was kind of disrespectful. I thought spitting on the Godzilla legacy, and that's why I'm glad, you know, they made sure that that Godzilla beat that one
Yeah,
in like a couple of seconds. If you watch, it's pretty funny.
yeah.
He actually faces off against that one from this. He does. The real Godzilla faces off against Zilla, they call it, and he beat him in seconds. It was a joke. He just grabbed him, he threw him. It was like crazy. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Gotta see Caroline.
Yeah,
It's the funniest thing.
I don't think I've
He
seen
took
that.
him out. Let me see if I got. Well, I don't know how to screen share on here, but um, next time I'll show you.
So
But then, yeah,
what's it called again?
Godzilla Final Wars.
Okay, I got it right there. I got it. Oops. What am I doing?
Godzilla Final Wars. You gotta check that out.
I'm gonna put that in my notes. I put everything
Oh,
in my
you
notes.
got it. You're a
put,
big Godzilla fan. You gotta see that one.
Final Wars, you said?
Yeah.
Final Wars. Because I don't think I've heard that one.
God, man, that was the last one they ever made. Period.
See, I thought the last one that they made was the
Oh,
one where he melted down.
no, that was Godzilla Destroyer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
I'll try to
definitely.
get you. I'll try to look it up on Google while you're talking, and I'll try to see if I could send it to you on Skype so you could look at it later or something, or
Oh,
maybe you
okay.
can find it.
Cool.
Maybe
So,
we can get it for you.
so of the earlier, you know, like movies that they had, the ones that used to be on TV, what
Right.
one is your favorite?
Like I said, the one where want to try to get the right title. I think it's called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. When Godzilla all of a sudden saw another Godzilla,
Hmm.
and they're fighting in the city, and then he punches him, and then you see the metal,
Yeah,
and then it was like, oh my god, and then when he punched him, he kept twirling around, and
yeah,
he just got rid of and that was like my greatest Godzilla movie I saw because it was like, oh my god, now he's up against an amplified version of him. How is he going to defeat him? You know, because he had all this. And every time Mechagodzilla came on the scene, Mechagodzilla was my favorite Godzilla villain.
yeah.
And the next one was, of course, Ghidorah with the three-headed, dragon.
Oh, okay.
You know, they called it different names. It was
Yeah, because there's
Ghidorah, Ghidra, whatever.
Ghidra, yeah.
Right, they named it twice. I don't know why, but and they, after that, then when they made those Godzilla movies, where after 1985, there was Godzilla 1985, which was terrible because it was not really a villain. The 1986 movie, which it wasn't called, it was called Godzilla vs. Biollante. That's when they started making Godzilla movies again, and they cloned Godzilla, but they made him into a plant. So he fought this plant creature, which it wasn't that great, but they tried. And then they started making movies like Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla,
Yeah.
which that's what that evolved into. That was awesome. They brought Mecha Godzilla back a few times.
Right.
They even turned Ghidorah or Ghidorah into a Mecha Ghidorah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool.
So they made these awesome friggin' movies, and even Destroyer was a great villain. You know, I like those. I think it was in the '90s, like those ones, and even Godzilla 2000. Not Matthew Broderick. It was actually called Godzilla 2000. That was cool because that started a new Godzilla trend, which they really didn't make other than Final Wars after that. I thought they were going to start making a whole bunch of movies too, but they didn't. But you know, when they brought Godzilla back, it was great. I mean, I grew up on when they had Spider on the island,
Yeah.
and the Spider was trying to, like, you know, web up Kazuki or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was even the one where Kazuki was talking to the kid.
Yeah, I
Which,
love that one.
Like a lot of Godzilla fans
and
don't like that because
I
they're
liked
talking.
it.
That was pretty cool. Then there was one where Godzilla was talking to Anguirus or Rodin, and something happened. They got to hear them. That was, but then there was a lot of ones like when Gigan. I liked him. He was like my third favorite. Where he had the claws, and he was like,
Oh yeah,
and it was
cool.
Megalon. He teamed up with
Yeah,
Megalon
Megalon.
and Godzilla.
And that one where it was the
Jet
giant
Jaguar.
robot. The one with the
Jet
giant
Jaguar.
robot. And then remember the giant robot and Godzilla like
Yes.
started doing like wrestling moves and acting like, and
Yeah.
Godzilla started acting like Hulk Hogan, and he was sitting there
Yeah,
like
Jet-
this.
I know, Jet Jaguar. That was cool. And then they had this other one. It was like a lion one. I don't know, it was King Caesar or Caesar or something. But there was a lot of cool Godzilla. Well, we were so lucky with like some of that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They even had one where they built a Godzilla tower, and then the aliens were like cockroaches.
Oh,
Remember
I
that?
remember that one. That one was awesome. You know, because they were
Yeah.
saying that the cockroaches were the only ones that can, because they were going to like blow up the Earth because
Right.
the cockroaches are the only ones that can survive a nuclear war.
Right.
So they were going to like nuke the Earth and then inhabit.
Monster Zero was the good one too,
Yeah.
which I think was that Destroyer Monsters, Monster Zero, or was that different? Well, Monster Zero was with their creature
Oh,
was
was it-
three-headed.
Was it Destroyer Monsters or was it like Monster Island? Or was it?
Monster. Well, I think they retitled a lot of them.
But
They used to be. One was Godzilla versus the Thing, which was Godzilla versus Mothra.
Yeah.
Those were cool. Mothra wound up having 3 movies of his own.
Yeah. And then I also liked the flying turtle. I forget his name.
Gamera.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
I
I was
love it.
wondering, didn't Gamera fight Godzilla, or that never happened?
I thought he
I thought
did
he
because
fought once.
because I thought I seem to
I
remember
thought he
this.
fought him once, but I wasn't sure.
I seem to remember this one scene where the flying turtle shows up, and then the flying turtle never was able to land, and it ended up like landing on top of Godzilla.
I have to look that up because I remember I could have
that-
sworn he fought Godzilla, but I could be wrong. But I loved Gamera, and Gamera had a few movies himself too.
Yeah.
I remember the thing that accessed into my mind was when the aliens were trying to feed the kids like donuts or cookies or something to fatten them up or something and
Yeah.
kill them. I don't know, whatever. But we've got a lot of cool stuff back in the day, like
Actually,
the Godzilla.
What would be cool is if they started doing that again. You know, like where they
Maybe
started
bring
like
Gamera
we're,
back too.
we're not just I mean, yeah, have Godzilla back, but it would be cool to also bring back some of those other, ones like Mothra and those
I wish
little,
they did another
those
Godzilla
little
vs. King
pixie
Kong.
people.
Yeah, I wish they did another Godzilla vs. King Kong because that was just one of my favorites too.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can't be.
They even did their own King Kong movies. They did like a Mecha Kong or something. They were doing their own King Kong movies, I remember. But yeah, I miss Godzilla.
For some reason, I've never been into King Kong, mainly because I always felt sorry for King Kong when he died. The original.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the original where, You
I
know,
know, black white. Yeah.
when they ended up killing him and he fell off the Empire State Building, and when he's in the street, he turns into a little monkey. You know, the chimpanzee.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, like that's the original. Where
Okay.
when he like dies, he's like lying in the streets and he's a chimpanzee again. I always hated that.
Oh, okay.
You know, I figure why don't they just like bring him to an island somewhere and let him live?
Yeah.
That's why I never saw the remake of of King Kong, because you know you knew what was gonna happen.
Well, that was in the '70s, a remake, and then they had the new one with Peter Jackson.
Yeah,
That was cool too.
yeah,
You
I
know, like
know.
that?
I didn't bother seeing it because you know I felt sorry for the
Wow.
monkey.
I know. It's kind of hard. You're a Mediterranean, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want the monkeys to. I
Uh,
want the animals to kill all the people and let the
right.
animals rule.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
That would be a horror movie.
So the only time that I thought it was hilarious, do you remember Godzilla versus Bambi?
Oh, that stupid thing where he just crushed him in 2 seconds. That was funny. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That would be funny if they made like a short, like 5 minute, like webisode with Godzilla.
I remember seeing
and
that on,
Bambi.
like, I think it was like WHT or something
Yeah.
back then. But it's like, I just saw it, like, that
Yeah,
was
because I
funny.
was like Godzilla meets Bambi meets Godzilla. I'm like,
They
look
played
at
the
this.
music like da 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 da, and they had like Bambi, and then all of a sudden it was just like instant. That was great.
That was hilarious. I love that. Okay, so here's a question for you. If you were walking along and all of a sudden Godzilla was standing in front of you, what would you do?
I run the other way because I've seen plenty of Godzilla movies where you just like look at them, and you just like burn them.
Yeah.
So I run the other. Yeah, no. I run the other day. I wouldn't even. This would be reality. I wouldn't run the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, right before he like fried me, I'd run up and give him a big hug.
Yeah, you would. You. Yeah, but it wouldn't be the one that like did like the Hulk Hogan poses. It would be like the
And that'd
Yeah.
be funny. I'd go up and like hug his big toe before he like
Yeah.
fried me and turned me into a shish kebab.
Get ready for more Godzilla movies.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, you have anything else you'd like to add?
Only I can't wait for Godzilla, and we just got a trailer today for the Turtles movie, which we're going to be doing everything show. Hopefully we can do what
Oh,
you,
what, the
Caroline.
Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about, but yes, thank you I love your show,
Oh,
and
thank you.
thank you for having me on here, and I can't wait to do more shows with you on Hanna-Barbera and stuff like.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna
That
try to
was-
start having like more, I don't know if I'll have it like every week, but I was thinking like every other week.
Let me know.
I enjoy it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like me to chat about, just give me a holler. Thank you so much for joining me,
Thank you very much for having me.
and have a great night, everyone.
Bye bye.